Hey guys, and welcome to Confessions from a Red Couch. I am Janae, your host and writer and creator. And Confessions from a Red Couch is a podcast that talks about self-help and improving who you are and your personal relationship with yourself so you don't take your trash into other relationships. Welcome. We are here. It is a Saturday. It's different, but we're going to get this thing started. Last episode, we discussed, I had my brother Brandon on and my sister on, and Precious on, let me say her name. And we discussed like where we are versus where we wanted to be, the me versus me thing. And we kind of all came to consensus that, you know, we're all stuck in some type of way. It's not really a bad thing, but, you know, just trying to get us out of that stuck situation and getting us together so we can move forward. And then I have a post. I found a blog article that gave some information on how to get unstuck. So I'll make sure that's in the show notes because I didn't do it myself. I did it with y'all. Well, today I have a guest. Today's wonderful, beautiful episode, I'm excited, is the Newlywed edition. Dun, 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 dun. Part two. And I couldn't have the Newlywed edition without my better half. They do, and for others, they really don't. So I wrote a blog. I don't know what that was. Okay, so Newlywed edition, and I can't do it without my babies. So my baby is here, Chris.
Hey, what's up, folks? What's up? How's everybody doing this Saturday morning?
Yes, that is my husband, Christopher Nunn.
He is
Chris.
I, and I is he.
He is him, and him is him. And so the last time you were on, we had a good time. We answered questions. We're going to kind of do the same thing today.
I'm ready.
All right. Also, make sure y'all go to his Facebook page and his Instagram. He has a new catering company. Excited. Because that's my baby, and I shout him out. Excited. It is All or None Catering. Also, the page will be in the show notes. My baby can cook, if y'all haven't noticed, since January.
Do a little shum.
I've gained probably about a good 30 pounds because he can cook.
She's still cute, though, y'all.
Thank you.
She be all right.
I'm talking about. All right. Hey, everybody out there. So if you don't know, we always do a live show, but today is a little twist. So we're going to only do the first 15 minutes live on Facebook. And then after this, guys, I need you to go to my other places so you can see the rest. I mean, you know, we want to give y'all what y'all want, but I need you to go other places so I could give you more stuff. You know, I could get better sponsors and things like that. So go
support.
Yeah, support. Go to the YouTube channel if you want to see the full video. If you want to listen, everything will drop about an hour after the show. So make sure you tune in for that. All right, let's get this thing kicking. You ready, baby?
Ready.
Yes. All right, first things first. And Tim, hey Tim, and hey Deanna. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the people that's live on Facebook. Hey guys, make sure you share this out. Like, let people see it.
Those are my sister-in-laws. Hey, sister-in-laws.
Yeah, so they can see it. So first thing, we're gonna talk about some good old dating tips, right? Random lessons in dating. And so we wanted to talk about, what are we going to talk about, babes?
Love Jones.
We are
talking about the misconception of love presented in Love Jones.
Yes.
God.
And it was crazy because, you know I was talking to somebody else on Facebook about Love Jones, and I'm like, and they said they had never seen it. And I was like, What you mean you haven't seen it? That's black love.
Black classics.
That's black classics. And then I was like, but wait a second.
Yeah. They did everything wrong in that movie pretty much.
Oh my gosh. So if you've never seen Love Jones, it's about two people, Nina and Darius. They find each other at a weird spot in both of their lives.
Right.
Nina is getting out of a relationship and kind of not knowing where she wants to go. Darius is writing a book, right? And he's a poet. He's, all these things. And so they meet up. He sees her at one of his poetry readings. He gets her information from his homegirl off of a check.
Straight creeper move.
It's straight creeper
Mistake
move.
number one.
Yeah, that's
straight creeper move.
Yeah, and he goes to her house after he gets the address. I would never open the door, first of all.
Let's keep in mind this
it is
in the
90s.
early 90s.
That's right.
There was
So
no internet.
That's true.
None of that was
That's
there.
true.
So still kind of creepy, but
it's a creeper move.
Some would call that romantic still.
I guess. Okay, and so after that, if you've never seen it, spoiler alert, sorry, you need to watch it anyways. It's on Netflix. After that, so he meets her. He goes to the apartment. He was like, I'm vibing you. And she's like, hold on, homie. I'm not in a good place right now. She does say that. I will say that. She does.
And that was her disclaimer to him.
That was her disclaimer to him.
When anybody tells you, male or female, when you're interested in them and they tell you, hey, guy or girl, I'm not in a good headspace right now, that should be red flag number one. Okay, cool. We can be friends. See you when I see you.
Right,
right. Stop your pursuit.
Stop the pursuit.
Like, you're running after somebody that's clearly not ready, and like it's never gonna be a good situation, man.
Never.
Incomplete people trying to make a complete package is a setup for disaster.
Yes, and it was a disaster because after they had been kicking it for a little bit, they went on the first date. They got down on the first date, and then her ex pops up.
Yeah, and this is where she starts doing and
F girl,
right,
F girl behavior.
She started being an F girl.
Yes. Yeah.
She goes back to New York to see if she still has anything going with her ex. She comes back. She's mad at him because
he started seeing somebody else.
And you left, like you told this dude, hey, I'm going back home to see if I have any chemistry with my ex, and you expect him to just stay there and be stagnant.
I don't know what she thought. And so I was like, wait, how are you mad? Because you're going off to do something else. Like, you're going to see if you have feelings. So you want him to wait? That's not fair. I would never wait. No, and you wouldn't expect, we wouldn't expect women to wait, just like I don't expect you to wait.
Well, it depends on the circumstance. But if you tell me, hey, I'm going back home.
Right.
To see how
me and my ex is gonna that's it. That's as soon as you say me and my ex, like it's
okay,
we
cool.
don't have nothing no more.
When you get back,
okay, homie,
we might be able to pick it back up, but my life's gonna go on.
Okay, homie. At that point, we friends. Like, all right, homie. And then she gets mad at him and does another mistake.
She smashes the homie.
She doesn't smash him.
You don't know that.
She doesn't smash him, but you don't know that she did.
It's implied.
But
okay, let's say.
I don't think it's implied. I think it's implied. I think they showed he was trying to.
Okay.
She wasn't. She was like, we just kicking it type deal.
For the sake of argument, we'll say they were just kicking it.
Okay. They were just kicking it. Yeah, they were. They were just kicking it.
Still.
It was still wrong. I mean, because she was trying to do it, and when you could tell she knew it wasn't right, because when they went to that party, she was not okay.
She was uncomfortable.
She was uncomfortable, which she should have been.
You can't it would be one thing if they were just acquaintances, but they ran in a very close
group
circle.
Yeah, it was.
So eventually, she knows, hey, this is one of Darius's homeboys.
Exactly.
I'm gonna end up seeing him and all his people.
Exactly.
Eventually.
At some point, if this works out, we're gonna have to meet up.
Don't act like you're all embarrassed, mad, upset because you kind of get outed. Like that's what all that's about.
So that was her second F girl move.
Second
F girl move. Yeah.
If we're really keeping count, probably third or fourth by
this
point.
I don't think it's third or fourth. I think it's second.
No, wrong. Because you got to remember when she first went back to New York or New Jersey to be with her fiance.
That's the first move.
Well, that's just going back. Going back is a move. But then her homegirl tells her to play a mind game. What do you do?
Oh, that is true.
Oh, give him a story and see how he acts. If he don't get mad, why not just be honest?
That's
true. This is relationships and adulting 101. If you feel a certain kind of way, hey, I really don't want to go back to see this dude. I really want to be with you, but I need to know what you're feeling. Like, this is adulting 101. Talk, people. Use your words.
Use your words.
Don't try to play mind games and be like, well, if they don't get upset, then I know it's not real. That's BS,
that's
man.
BS. Yeah,
and that's not fair.
I think that's when that's you should never play games in a relationship,
No.
especially with somebody that you want to be with. You do not want to play games.
And then you
So that was-
and then you got to think about today's climate, right? So
Yeah,
let's
you
say
can't do
in
that
today's
now.
climate, if that happens and a dude trips out, oh, well, you're being controlling and you're being toxic masculinity.
But
and
no,
all of this.
I think that's
So,
toxic. What she did was
I think
toxic femininity.
100% agree.
Because
Just
you
toxic in general.
cannot play games. Like I said, I come from this. I don't play games. You know, I hate games. I hate you wasting my time. Because when we play games, you waste my time.
Yeah.
So that, like you said, when her homegirl was like, do this, like that was playing games.
Her
And now
homegirl
you're
also
wasting.
told her to date Wood.
Yeah, her homegirl did tell her
Check
to
your
date
friends.
Wood. Her friend was kind of. Her friend was
trash.
trifling. She was trash. Yeah,
friend was
she
trash.
was. She was really trash.
Oh, you got a homegirl that
That's-
tells you
that's
all
playing-
the wrong stuff.
And you know what? I think that's another lesson. Like you can't go with everybody's like advice for you in your
Right on.
relationship.
Right on.
And we're going to talk about that when we get into our question and answer part. All right. And then, so she talks to the homie, they get mad. And then at the end, she running and they, you know, she done wrote this poem and now, you know, they ride off into the sunset together. That would not happen today. If y'all, that would not happen. I'm sorry. I'm not riding off into the sunset with nobody.
Not like that.
Yeah. Her friend was trash,
like
Deanna.
that.
Yeah.
And that's you know, one of those situations. And I had a, you know, real big like epiphany, like eureka moment with this movie. You know, just the other day, like me and Janae are sitting there watching this movie. And growing up, you know, you love it. The soundtrack
Yeah,
is
the
good.
soundtrack
You
is
got attractive
dope.
black people that are doing,
Yeah.
you know, the whole poetry, the writing, you know, all this
Yep.
renaissance going on.
Yep.
And
And you
start to look
like
at
you
it and
feel
you're
the
like,
vibe, and then you
yeah,
start looking at the storyline
yeah.
like, wait, she was trash.
well, they both made
They
huge
was
mistakes.
both
They
made
huge
horrible mistakes.
And I get it.
Horrible.
You know, this is supposed to take place when they're both in their early 20s, right? This is when people make mistakes in
That's true.
relationships
That's
and
true.
in life in general. But
That's true.
God, man,
They
God,
made
like,
so many horrible mistakes for that relationship. So many like
show
just,
up to a woman's door today and tell her you got
Man.
her address off a check.
Let me
Bruh.
tell you something. Don't show up to my house. I had somebody do that before. You know what I had waiting for him? I had that thing waiting for him. Don't show up to my house.
Yeah, big mistakes.
Don't do
on
that.
both
You
part,
will
man,
get
but
shot.
I still feel like she played the worst games possible.
She did.
I
She
still
did.
feel
I
like
think
she
she
played the
took the
worst
worst
games possible.
advice. Her friend was trash. As Deanna said, her friend was trash. She took the worst advice, and she just went about everything just, you know, the wrong way.
Yeah.
I just feel like she went about that the whole relationship the whole way. And Arlene says that people use that as landmark for goals. I don't use that movie for goals at all. I never
Erlene,
have.
I'm not gonna lie. I have. Like I thought before, and I guess like it had been years, many years between the last time I watched Love Jones,
Mm-hmm.
because for the longest, like I guess I watched it, you know, with a younger mind.
Yeah,
know?
because
it
you
was.
think it's a love story.
It was
you
a
see
first
black
date
love.
movie. Like, I mean, when I was
Yeah.
single, I would invite, hey, you want to come over? We go watch Love Jones.
Because
you know?
it's good, like you said, the vibe
It
is
sets
good.
a good vibe, but
the,
if you
the
really pay
environment
attention
is
to
good.
it, man, it's a movie
It
about
is. That's some
incomplete
struggles.
people, man. Like it's a horrible
It
premise,
is.
and
It
I
really
hate that
is.
it's set that kind of precedent in our community that we flow off
Yeah.
of, man. But Love Jones is not about love.
Love
It's about
Jones
two
is
people
not. That made the
use sex
worst
for love.
mistakes. Yeah, they use sex for love, and they made the worst mistakes. Well, guys, if you want to hear more, because you know our 15-minute mark is about to hit. If you want to hear more and listen to more, guys, you have to go to Google Podcasts. You have to go to Apple Podcasts. You could go anywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a giveaway with that, so check out the Instagram for that. So we are going to go ahead and shut it down, and you can watch everything else about an hour after we finish in here. But thank you guys for tuning in to the first 15 minutes. I hope we have your attention.
We love y'all. Catch us
We
on
love
YouTube,
y'all.
please.
Catch us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Speaker, all that other good stuff. My mom brought up a good one. She brought up The Best Man. You're right, and we should talk about that one day, Ma,
next
because
episode.
that's next
That's
episode.
gonna be
'cause-
Newlywed Part 3.
Yeah, that's Newlywed Part 3. We're going to talk about that with us. All right, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Make sure you listen after this. Bye. Peace. Okay. All right, so let's continue on. Thank you guys for our Facebook people who were watching. So let's continue on now with our stuff. So Love Jones is trash. That was our summary.
Good soundtrack.
Good
That's how it got
soundtrack.
me.
Great, like not an example for love.
Not an example.
Not a
of
great
love.
example.
It's an
for
example
love.
of what people do and find instead of love and call it
They
love.
they stumble upon, like they were
Yeah.
stumbling, I think, through that whole
Right.
relationship.
And I remember, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was talking to a gentleman that I worked with, and he told me the worst time to try to get into a relationship or to be with someone is when you're in transition.
Yeah.
So if you're in
Yeah.
transition, hey, I gotta find a job. I just started a
Yeah.
new job. I'm looking for my calling. I'm trying to do all of these things. Those are the worst times
And think
to
about
try
it,
to build a
'cause-
relationship.
And they were both
They were
in
both
between.
in transition.
They were both in transition.
Yes.
He had just quit his job and was writing his book, Darius was. And then she was
had just lost her job.
She just lost her job, didn't know what she was going to do next, and she was house sitting.
Yeah, and had just moved to a new city.
Yeah, and she was house sitting. She didn't even have her own spot,
Right.
and got out of a relationship.
Yeah.
So there was nothing that was. You're right. They were both in transition and both. Love Jones is not an example of love.
And I'm not
guys.
saying life has to be perfect before you try to find love, but
You don't have to struggle that much.
please don't use that for a benchmark, guys.
It's
Please.
not. It's not at all. It is not. I promise you, it isn't. All right, let's move on. Moving on to our next topic.
Next up.
Social media randomness. Social media randomness. So we only got 2 this week because I wanted to, get into the meat of the meat. The first thing. So we are here. Confessions from a Red Couch is based in Houston, Texas, and we have Houston, Texas is home of all the good food. All of it. Sorry. All the good food.
I'm from Dallas.
Whatever. Don't nobody care about you in Dallas. But Houston, Texas is home of all the good food. And so we have a restaurant. It's not really new. It's been around for a while, but they moved locations. And since they moved locations.
They're thriving.
And they are
It's a
thriving. It is a thriving
black-owned
black-owned restaurant. If you don't know what it is the Turkey Leg Hut. And so they have come into some legal issues, some stuff. Some people are doing some dirty things, some shicey things. So some residents they call it the Upper Museum District, but that's
Third
not
Ward,
the name.
guys.
It is Third Ward.
Third
Ward, Houston. So their business is in Third Ward. They smoke turkeys. They smoke turkey legs. They have other things too, but they're big. It's the Turkey Leg Hut, and so. Recently, some residents of Third Ward, which I might want to add, has been gentrified or been trying to become gentrified the past couple, 5 or 6 years, aggressively. We've had new development and people have been buying up the land cheap and putting up condos and stuff. And so now the gentrification is happening. And so this business is coming under attack because they are bringing black dollars back to the community, and
a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of it.
And like I said, guys, shout out to Dallas. I'm not from Houston. I'm from Dallas. I know I have friends in Dallas. San Antonio. I got somebody from Oklahoma, Arkansas that come to Houston. Not to eat at Papados, not to eat at Steak 48.
No.
They come here to have a good time,
Yep.
go to Third Ward and eat at the Turkey Leg Hut.
They either go to Turkey Leg Hut or the Breakfast Club
Right.
or Reggae Hut.
Right.
Because those are strong black-owned businesses.
Yep.
And so they're coming under attack once again. And they help out the community, too.
They do.
They give back to their community. And so this week, a lawsuit was... underhandedly developed against them because of the smoke.
They had it expedited somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact term,
yeah.
but it was they expedited it
didn't
somehow.
go through, right? Apparently it didn't. They don't have to shut their doors.
No.
Yeah,
no.
so
But
it didn't go all the way
What
through.
it does do, and this is a problem as well, especially anybody that works inside of the food industry. So their main component to their restaurant is smoked turkey legs. So that injunction says that they can't basically cook food, smoke the turkey legs
they can't smoke
between
the turkey
8 p.m. and 6 p.m.
And that's their That's a big time. That's their business. That's their business time.
Anybody that works in the restaurant industry, you know, between 8 and 10, 8 and 11, especially on the weekends, that's when things are really popping. So what do you want these people to do?
They don't know. And the problem is this. They came up with a solution earlier because they knew, you know, so the first thing was about the parking.
Correct.
And then they fixed that issue. They fixed the parking issue. And then now it's about the smoke from the smoker. And then they came up with a plan to do it. They introduced a plan to their community meeting that said they were going to build, this is November 13th, they were going to build a fully enclosed ventilated structure over the pit. That way it wouldn't direct the smoke into the neighborhood. It would dissipate, or it was like a cleaning process that it would go through.
Those same neighbors that are complaining about smoke blocked them from building that.
They came to the meeting and opposed that injunction. They opposed their plan. And their thing was, they were saying that because it was going to go over into the subdivision lines, which really wasn't that far away. So, I mean, and they had what did they have? Tell me what they had. They had a press release, a press conference.
Oh, yeah. And this was just yesterday.
Yeah, it was just yesterday because the injunction was filed on the 19th after they introduced the plan to fix the situation. And so they did a press release, and the lawsuit stated that officials from the city of Houston came and tested the air. And they didn't. It was a private company that the plaintiffs hired, which should never be done. Should never happen. It has to be city stuff.
Right.
But another problem that I had was the just in the press when it got released, they were saying stuff like they had many health code violations and stuff.
Right. And my thing is, okay, I get it. But, like, when a business is growing that fast, right, you got to think about, like, and I feel like this is one of the things that, you know, forgive me for, you know, putting a target on this, especially when it comes to the black community. When you have a new business that's, you know, growing as fast as the Turkey Leg Hut does, you're going to have some obstacles that you have to overcome.
That's
yes,
true.
You're going to have, you know, some issues with your, you know, your health code standards. That might happen. Maybe they need to go back and reform their practices and policies so they can be inside of those lines.
But I think the main thing was the smoke.
Yeah, like, the smoke, exactly.
The smoke is the main thing.
But my point on saying that is that, you know, we still eat at these places like Chipotle or, you know, for instance, Jack in the Box. You know, back in the day, Jack in the Box had a huge outbreak.
A big outbreak. Like, people was getting sick.
Yeah, Chipotle not too long ago. And people are still eating there, supporting them, you know. So why can't this place have that same give them that same time, give them that same, you know, route to say, hey, this is the issue. Fix it, okay? But that's not happening. Like, they're really just trying to
move
these people out of that spot.
They don't want them there. And the thing is, they have bought up the block.
Yep.
So it's really not too much that they can do to go against them because they own it. They're gonna end up owning it. And they're bringing black business back to that community.
Which
like, the people they hire are people from the community. The people who they have doing the construction are people from that community. Like, it's not like they're going, you know, to a different part of town. They're using those dollars, and that's the big thing that we talk about with
keep the dollar circulating.
The black dollar does not circulate within the black community, and that's the thing that we continue to
Read that.
And that's the thing that's really getting attacked right now, that I see that's getting attacked, is the black dollar being recirculated into the black community. And, you know, that's what I see that's getting.
I don't know. They're bringing up things about traffic and increased crime. Like, from what I've seen, and I'm not going to pretend like I've read everything regarding this lawsuit or whatnot, or this injunction. I haven't. But from what I've seen, the only issue that the establishment is responsible for is the smoke. That they've already introduced something to fix that issue. Yeah. And the community blocked it.
The traffic is going to be
the traffic. If there was an In-N-Out burger right there, that traffic would be even worse.
And they just opened up an In-N-Out burger here off of Kirkwood, and it's the same thing. The traffic is horrible.
Can I be the first to say that their food is
trash,
garbage? I'll say it.
In-N-Out burger is trash. But nobody's complaining about that traffic. Nobody's complaining about the people that's bringing around. Nobody's talking about the noise. Nobody's talking about any of that.
But you have a thriving black restaurant that has the city of Houston I bet they declare it's a tourist destination spot. It's a destination spot now.
It is. They've gotten awards from the city of Houston, from outside of the city of Houston. Yeah. People come to Houston, like we just said, to eat at the turkey leg hut because they see like what it's bringing and the food is good.
I support it, man, and I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but like in my heart of hearts, like I pray that God blesses me one day as an entrepreneur, as someone that's in the restaurant and food industry, to be a blessing to the community and my family, like the Turkey Leg Hut is doing. Like I hope I can have those same successes. Yeah. And why not support each other? If your dream is similar to somebody else's, then you need to support and you need to see what they're doing and try to get in line and do the same thing.
True.
But
that's true. And they've made a lot of changes because me and Chris went one time and service wasn't great. Yeah. And it was a little slow, but I went back and it was just they made a 180 from that one time. And it was I was like, I applaud them because they made sure they took consideration into everything.
Even the people that are waiting in line.
Yeah, even the people, like when you wait in line, they give you water. Yep. They are playing music for you because they know the line is long. But the Breakfast Club did the same thing. Yep. And I'm pretty sure they had the same issues because let's be honest, it's not about, the problems that people say it brings. When it all boils down, it's a black business that's thriving and helping out the community. I'm sorry, 100%. And that's exactly the way I feel. And once we can move past all of that, once we could just like say what it is, maybe we could do something different. But people won't ever own up to that.
No.
They won't.
Not at all.
They're going to use
call a spade a spade.
Call a spade a spade, and that is the spade of it all. That is the spade of it all. So Turkey Leg Hut, we wish you the best. The owners, we wish you the best. We're hoping that
I'm trying to get like you, Broham.
Yeah, because y'all are killing it.
Do what you're doing. I love it.
Y'all continue doing what you're doing. You're helping the community. You just stay strong. Stay strong. And for the rest of us in the black community here in Houston, we need to figure out how we can support them, how we can help them out, because it will be a shame to, see this all on social media and social media outrage. And like we never do anything. Right. You get mad about it, but what do you do about it?
Give them that Popeye's chicken money.
Yeah.
While y'all getting that Popeye's chicken sandwich, go get you a turkey leg.
Go get a turkey leg. Because they got food trucks. They got a food truck in Humble. They got a food truck next to the restaurant. So you don't even have to go inside the restaurant if you don't want to. You can just go to the food truck. So hats off to y'all. We're praying for y'all. We're supporting y'all. So, big times. All right. An announcement. So I am looking for businesses to sponsor. I want to help you out, or businesses that sponsor me. Either way, if you are a business and you like what you hear and you want to, do some business together, I want to run your ads. I want to help you build your audience. I want to help you do anything, whether you're, a brick and mortar business or something that's an online business. Whatever it is, I want to help you out. So if you're looking for a place to run your ads, hit me up at theconfessionsfromaredcouch@gmail.com and we can make something happen. I want to get you out there. I want to get people to your store. I want to get them to your website, and I want to help you to do that. So my audience will love you, and I will love you, and let's, make a partnership. Yeah. All right, now let's get into confession time. It's confession time. What we got? All right, so for today's confession time, we are going to be answering questions that listeners have submitted. We're going to shout some of y'all out because, this is the second Newlywed edition. Where's my game show music? I want to hear. I found some game show music. See if we can hear it. I don't know if we can. We'll wait and see what happens. I did because I wanted this to be like the Newlywed show. Oh, yeah.
How well do you know each other?
How well do you know each other? Or how are y'all going to answer these questions? Hey.
Do y'all see why I love this girl, man? I love it. God, I love it.
All right. So Here it is, episode 19, the Newlywed edition. You ready?
Ready.
All right. So, do you want me to answer the question and then you backdoor me, or do you want to answer the question first?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
All right. So, let's do just back and forth. All right. The first question comes from Lorinda Cockrell. If you don't know who that is my mother. She's so amazing.
Hey, mama.
It's one of my top fans, Thanks, Lorinda. All right. She's in Houston, Texas. And her first question is, what has marriage taught us concerning balance in our relationship?
That's actually kind of an easy one for me. The biggest thing about balance to me, as much as I love my wife, as much as she loves me, when it comes to balance, I know I'm probably a lot more of a homebody than she is. A great night to me is chilling in the back room playing video games for hours on end, right? On the other hand, for her, it might be going to Turkey Leg Hut, shout out again, with her friends, to have a drink and relax and having some girl time. And I let her have that unquestionable at any point. If she feels like, hey, I got to do this or I got to do that, there's never a moment where I'm like, nah, you can't do that. I let her live her life. And that's part of that balance. You got to know how to let each other be individuals in that co-op relationship. You don't never want to try to stop somebody from being who they are
true.
Just because they're married.
So
that's my take on it.
And that's why he's my baby, because he does that.
And I can cook.
And he could cook, man. Anyways, so I love the answer because that's true. And even with him, even though he loves to play video games and I know he needs his time, like I may go in there and sit and watch, ask a couple questions, and then when I know I don't want to bother him anymore because he's focused, I leave. And so we know that we have to have our us time, our us time together as a couple, but also our us time separate from each other because, I need my girl time. I do, and he knows that. And I know he needs his video time. I know he needs to go hang out with his friends too, and like we said, we don't tell each other no because we grown. Nah. Like I'm grown and he grown.
That's not fair.
Yeah, and it's not fair. That's not fair either to tell somebody like, oh, you can't do that. Like, no. So we understand as long as we don't have any, thing else going on.
Right.
We make plans and we plan accordingly. And it just is, and that also comes with trust too. Like
big time.
Balance.
Big time.
Balance, knowing, when it comes with trust. If I didn't trust him or if he didn't trust me, that's where an issue comes in with the balance, with, balance concerning me versus us.
Right.
That's when that happens. If you feel like you can't trust your man or you can't trust your wife,
shouldn't be with them.
You shouldn't really be with them. Like you need to go to some counseling to get, figure out why you're having trust issues with the person that you married. Because the person that you marry, you to have and to hold forever and a day, for better or for worse, sickness and in health. Even when he eats my brisket and I wanted my brisket.
Whatever. If it stays in the icebox more than a day, it's mine. Sorry.
Anyways,
not sorry.
Moving on to the next question because that brought up some old hurt. All right, so the next question is from Hey Girl Hey Network. They are in Dallas. And
shout out D-Town.
Shout out D-Town. Sade, my girl Sade and Chris. I was on their show earlier in the season, like I think in October. I was on there and I'm trying to get them here, y'all. So just, get some Dallas swag in here, more of it.
That South Dallas swag.
Whatever. All right. And so and so their question was, is marriage as difficult as people make it seem?
Can I answer that?
You could go ahead.
Hell to the no. Like, I'm going to be completely and 100% honest, man. Like, one, I love this woman. I loved her greatly before we got married. Being married didn't change anything other than her last name. Mm-hmm. All right. We were committed before then. Yep. Everything was in line before then. Mm-hmm. It's not hard at all, guys. Like if it's hard, it's usually because maybe you weren't ready before you jumped that broom.
Yeah.
There's on my end, I'll say, nah, there's nothing hard about it, man. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, sometimes
he eats my brisket on my leftovers.
It's my brisket. It's my leftovers. But stuff like that, yeah, I eat her ice cream when she leaves it in there for more than a couple of days, but I buy some more, though. I buy some more.
Sometimes.
But that's but those are little things, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little thing. So I think in this, you make marriage as difficult as you want it to be.
all day.
You know, and that's any situation in life. No, you're not going to agree on everything. Yes, it's a change to things that you've been doing, you know, separately. If you've been single, like I was single for a while before I got with Chris. So yes, there are changes like that. But like you said, I love this man. I can say that from the top of the mountaintops. I love this man. But because I love him, it's not hard. It's not a struggle. Like we're not struggling. It's not a power struggle
At all.
We don't have power struggles.
There's no in-house pissing contest.
Yeah, there's
that doesn't
there's
happen.
none of that because we're a team. So I think that's when marriage is hard, is when, you know, I like it when people bring up like submission and stuff, but because we submit to each other, like it's not who's in charge or who's doing, we submit to each other.
Team us.
It's team us. Like when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, you know, it's gonna be me and him against the world. Like we gonna be Queen and Slim. I'm not gonna say Bonnie and Clyde no more. I'm gonna say Queen and Slim.
Hey, there you
Make
go.
sure y'all check out that movie. It's gonna be you know, it's us, and I think that what makes it hard is when it's not team us. When you try to put, you know, well, because I make the most money, I need to be in charge. Or
it's the marriage, the relationship before everything.
Yeah, before.
And I mean that. I mean that. The marriage before everything.
It's before everything, and that's the way we view this. So it's not hard. Like I said, he might eat my leftovers.
Girl, I thought you were about to say something
No,
else.
I didn't. I fixed. That did not. I just had to swallow. Don't play with me. Stop it. Stop. All right, moving on to the next question. It says, what has been the biggest change in our relationship since we wed? And this is from my friend Deanna, who is in Houston.
Hey, sis-in-law.
Hey, sis.
Can I go first again?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't really have an answer for that. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like as far as how I acted towards Janae before I proposed, during the engagement, and after marriage has all been pretty static. You know, it's been pretty consistent. I haven't changed. Like when I first met her, you know, the smile captured me. We committed. You know, I went over to her house. I saw that the fence needed fixing. I tried to fix the fence.
He did fix it.
And, you know, from then on, it was a rolling thing. And I've continued to do that as much as I can throughout our relationship. You know, I've always tried to be, you know, that confidant. I hope I used that word correctly, in life for her, you know, since the beginning. So I can't say that. Outside of, you know, her finally admitting that she might want a baby, I can't really
trading
think
in the Maxima for a family car.
The grocery get a baby, but I can't say that anything has really changed. At least for me,
yeah.
You know, like once I knew that I wanted to commit to her in this relationship, it's been, you know, it's been a full on press, you know, pedal to the floor on what my actions were gonna be ever since. So on my end, I can't say really anything's changed since we got married.
Like I said, just my concepts have shifted from being a single woman to being a married woman. That's it. Like you said, before I got with him, I really wasn't contemplating marriage anymore because I was just content in where I was.
Life changes when you meet a real one.
You know, so life changes. Like my mindset changed because I mean, and he's right. Like I got with the right one. So now the idea of having a baby is scary and amazing to me. Like I want a little chocolate baby with curly hair. And I blush when I say that because I really do want one. But I didn't want that before I got with him because it wasn't the time to want it. You know, it wasn't. And so that's the thing that's changed. Like my shift from being a single woman, having to look out for myself and, you know, take care of myself and not, you know, expect anybody to have my back. Now I'm married and I got a husband that's a teammate. You know, it's not, oh, I'm still need to take care of everything. It's like, baby.
If I can get it, I got it.
Yeah, if he could get it, he got it. So it's team us now. That's basically it. All right. At Black Pod Collective. Next
What up,
question.
folks?
So at Black Pod Collective is a company, an organization in Atlanta. I am one of their guest bloggers. So they asked the question. They are amazing. They want to come to Houston. I'm telling you, they want to set up like a live Black Pod Collective here in Houston. So podcasters, if you're listening, go follow them on Instagram. They're amazing. They give great tips. So make sure you do that. So they said, what's been the hardest part about combining your lives? I'll go into that. I don't think anything's really been hard, except the fact, no, we travel. I want to travel more. You know, that's kind of the thing but that goes because I'm married now and we got kids. You know, so I can't just be like, oh, time to go. I can't do like I used to do anymore. So, you know, because I have to pay attention to my husband. I got to pay attention to a budget and finances, you know, that kind of, you know, things like that. The extra money now goes to the house, you know, and it's not the extra money is going to Janae is going to Dubai. You know, or Janae is just gonna up and roll out and wherever she wants to go. So that's kind of been the shift for me. What about you?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. What has been the hardest part about combining your lives?
Combining our lives.
And our stuff.
Well, we have two completely different concepts of stuff. I, by nature, am a minimalist. I don't need a lot, guys.
Yes.
Like, if I had a couch, a TV, and my PlayStation, I'm Gucci, you know, done. On the other hand, my wife likes stuff. So that's the
I do.
If I had to say, you know, what was, you know, the
stuff.
biggest transition, it would definitely be that because.
Yeah. Because for him, like I have a CPU unit at the house, right? Laptop went down. I needed the CPU unit. Before the laptop ever went down, he told me to put it in water and throw it in the trash. And I was like, wait, hold up. We can't just throw it. Works fine. Like, we don't need to do that. But for him, that's to just throw it away. And so there's certain things that for me, now I do need to clean out my closet again. I do, you know, and I'm with him. There's some things and I'm doing it little by little. He can attest to it. I'm doing a lot better with letting go of things and looking at things to see, you know, what I need and what I don't. But I think that's just, I won't say it's a woman thing because I don't want to put us all into one lump. But I will say I got it from my grandma Strickland because she had a whole room full of, like a whole bedroom full of clothes with tags still on it. She had like bags of stockings.
Like my mindset, like, I'm not even gonna lie. I've come to the realization that I need to probably get myself more stuff, so to speak. But in general, like in life, I really just haven't really cared about it. Like I
have tons of pictures and stuff, and he doesn't, like, you know. And I think, you know, it's just that whole sentimental thing. You just got to figure out like what works for you. And so he puts up with it, and then he knows that after a while, if I get tired of it, what do? I do a big purge.
Donate it.
Yeah, I do a big purge. And like right now, I need to do another big purge because I looked at my closet and there's stuff in there I haven't worn in like 3 years. So it needs to be, I need a purge. So, you know, it's just, and that I think that's the just the combining lives. It's stuff. But it's not like big things. Like finances, we went over.
No.
Yeah, I think. And
all the big
families,
things were like probably the easiest.
Our families are amazing together.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we get together and we just have a good time, you know. So, you know, shout out to Naomi and Mom. Hey guys.
Hey sis. Hey mama.
Hey. So, you know, it's great. Oh, hey, Aunt Vaughn. You can't leave Vaughn out.
Right.
Hey, Vaughn.
She gonna beat me.
Yeah. And hey, the rest of y'all. All right. Okay. Next question. This is from Toy Ames. She is a podcaster here in this studio. She has a podcast called All Things Beauty, I'm sure. And then they have an Ames Parker brand. It's like their consulting, you know, they promote people type deal. So,
okay, nice.
So we'll have to look at that. Black owned once again.
There you go.
Support.
Yeah.
And so her question was, how did we know we were ready for marriage?
How did I know I was ready?
How you know you wanted all this chocolate?
Shoot,
For
I
rest
saw it
of
walking.
life.
Shoot, but
That is a big thing now, ladies. Don't get it
there's
twisted.
I'm not gonna say I knew I was completely ready as much as I wanted it with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if that helps the question or not. There was no moment in life where I sat down and I was just like, oh, I want to be married right now. Like, and anybody that's known me, even back to high school, like I've always been the type of guy, you know. I prefer a relationship to running in these streets.
Yeah.
Like that's never been who I was, so to speak. So when it came to, marriage and things like that, to me, that was always just the natural next step. So at that point, it was just finding the right mate, which I found in her, and I loved it. I've never, one of my worst fears was always, single in your 40s, still running, still chasing. Like,
Still chasing that thing.
I never wanted that life, so
Yeah.
I made myself
ready.
ready.
Yeah. So you made yourself ready for what you wanted next.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for me, I'm going to tell y'all, and it's just, this is just because I'm open in this confession time. And I've even written this in a blog. I was completely terrified when Chris came into my life because I knew he was going to change my life. For the better, not the worse, but for the better. And so I was terrified because, dealing with anxiety disorder, that's change is kind of hard for me. And so but I knew that, I just saw him. I watched his actions. I didn't just hear his words. Like I watched his actions. I watched the way he treated me in front of people, the way he would hold my hand, how he took care of me when I had food poisoning that one time. And that was
I
before.
got you.
That was like early in our relationship. He took care of me, and it was just the things he would do, the food he would cook. Ladies, get you a man that could cook.
It works. It
Telling you, just fall in love with all the food. Anyways, but so it wasn't the sense that when I met Chris, I knew he was the one. I was technically, honestly fighting. And he could probably feel it. Like I was fighting with myself. Like I don't want no.
And it can be scary.
relationship.
It can be scary.
I am under depression.
YOLO.
Biggie Small. I think Biggie said it. Yeah. Get money.
Yeah.
I can't say it because I don't cuss on air. But get money. Like that's where I was trying to get this paper. And then Chris, little chocolate behind, came up and was like, "Say girl.
Hey girl, hey.
I got you some food."
Look, come on, you want to come over and watch Love Jones?
We do not watch Love Jones. We watched The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
My first time at his apartment, we watched
Walking Dead,
And he cooked for me.
Vikings.
Yeah, and Vikings. I mean, but we were chill. So, like I said, I watched the way that he just treated me through my process of just opening back up again to the idea that somebody would love me for who I am. So that's when I knew. That's honestly when I saw that he loved me for the nerdy, weird person that I am. I appreciated it. So that's how I knew he was the one. My mama said she knew before that, but whatever. She was like, "Girl, if you don't stop fighting with yourself."
It's the red velvet waffles. Remember that?
That's what it was. You made them from Easter. That was bribery. All right. Next one. This is from Deldrick Parker. He has a podcast called Vivid Vibe, and he's also the other half of the Ames Parker brand.
Okay.
And so Vivid Vibe airs on Thursday nights. Live on Facebook, so check them out. And his question was, what do you enjoy the most after the wedding? Yeah. So wait, time out. He's gonna say something, and I just want y'all to know I don't ever control the things that my husband says for the most part. So if you get offended, you're stuck up, because this is what marriage is about anyway. So that's another part of marriage. But this is the thing that I enjoy the most. And, people like to think, oh, it's, the wedding is the big day. I didn't want a big wedding. Like, I was like, let's do this and get this over with. And people was trying to add more stuff. And y'all, like, honestly, for my wedding, all I wanted was the ceremony, cake, and we was gone. And everybody else made me do other stuff because, it's just for everybody else. But You know, and after the wedding, I can say I just enjoy him.
Aww.
I do. I enjoy him.
If I wasn't such a thug, I'd cry, man.
I enjoy his, you know, when we have our petty moments together, when we talk about, when we roast each other, you know, we do it in love. I enjoy him letting me nerd out. Like, I'll start talking about electrons and the electron spectrum and how they bounce off, and he just listens, and it's like, my baby's a nerd, but I love her. She's highly intelligent.
That was part of the attraction.
You know, and so I enjoy being with him. I do. I enjoy him.
Oh, look at you making me smile and all, girl.
No, because you got a pretty
Let me see. And I could say the same thing, man. Like, the biggest thing is she lets me be me.
Yeah.
Something else I love, and, you know, this has been a catchphrase lately with me. Clapping cheeks with no regrets. Like, not having to worry, not having to wonder. I get to clap them cheeks with no regrets.
And we're married, so we can say that. And that's a part of our marriage, that we enjoy each other.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love her.
Clapping cheeks with no regrets. Hashtag. That's going to be the hashtag for the show. Hashtag clapping cheeks with no regrets.
That's going to be a whole nother show coming up. Watch.
Be hashtag clapping cheeks with no regrets.
Y'all see how she put up with me? This is how I am all the time.
I mean, but we like this with each other, because I say some stuff and he'd be like,
really, my dude?
Really, my dude? I'd be like, but that's what makes us perfect for each other. I think that we have each other's back. All right, and then the last question was, what's your advice to couples getting married or looking to get married?
Don't try to change each other. How you meet that person is you, and I understand that you are going to want to expect some type of growth, right? That's just part of growing. That's part of being an adult. You never want anybody that's stagnant in life, right? So some type of growth, I get it. But don't ever go into a relationship, especially into a marriage, thinking that you're going to change somebody, because you are going to fail yourself, your person, that person, and your relationship. And you're just going to end up with a lot of egg on your face, man. Like, who
and
they
be upset.
are.
Like, you are going to make yourself upset.
You are. And it's just going to build resentment. Like, who they are when you meet them.
Yeah. It's who they're going to be. Like, innately, that's who you're going to be. Yep. So if you don't like the way that man chooses food, guess what?
It ain't going to change.
It ain't going to change. If you don't like the fact that she take her wig off and put it on the doorknobs at the house,
it ain't gonna
or
change.
Her bra strap, it's not going to change.
If you don't like the fact that he eats your leftover brisket before you eat it, it ain't going to change.
You're going to get a divorce. Anyways, so just don't. That's a good one. Don't change anybody, and I think that's gonna be my hashtag for lessons learned. But also enjoy each other. Y'all, life is hard.
Yes, Lord.
Life
be
is
each other's peace.
So hard. Be each other's peace. You know, the world is hard. People are just horrible. Like, you know, people will do crazy things to you, and if you can't enjoy your mate, or trust your mate that he will have your back, or, you know, make you laugh, or when you go home, she ain't nagging at you, you know, like that's, you have to enjoy each other, you know, just, and not finding fault in everything they do.
And enjoyment, that's, if you don't mind me adding to that, enjoyment isn't, you know, always having to do with action. Yeah. Enjoy each other in your space. Yeah. Like, you know, just sitting there, chilling, watching TV, holding each other, or just, you know, in the same space with each other.
My foot touching, because sometimes it's hot. I get hot, you know, and it's not about, you know, definite physical touch. My foot might be on his leg,
that's
you
all
know,
I need.
or he's rubbing my foot, or my head, you know, his head is in my lap.
If you pay attention when we're out, a lot of times you'll see me just like rubbing on her calf or something like that if we're sitting beside each other.
Or
and that's
smacking my butt, just walking in the grocery store.
Clapping cheeks
We enjoy each other. That physical touch is one of our love languages, both of our love languages. So, or when I don't want to be touched, like he respects that. Even like he knows when I get home from work, if that time that if he's off and I'm getting home from work, he knows I need a little bit of decompression time because I deal with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with students and they be driving me crazy. So he knows that I just need that little bit of time to chill out for a second, and then I could talk to him about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could be lovey-dovey, and I appreciate about that because he respects it and he enjoys,
Mm-hmm.
just that in general. So yeah, that's our advice. And don't take stuff serious all the freaking time. Life is just
Have fun with each other, man.
Have fun with each other.
Like,
if I can't laugh with this man, who else I'ma laugh with?
The biggest thing that I enjoy so much with this woman is she lets me be the goofball that I am.
And he lets me be the goofball I am.
And I can't ask for anything more, man. Like, she's accepted the person that I am. Like, I can be awkward. I can be weird. We both can be nerdy,
We could both
and
be
we love, right. We love that about each other,
Yeah.
We love that about each other. And, like, I wouldn't ask for anything more. I definitely wouldn't accept anything less. Like, when I knew this woman was going to be my wife, when I felt that, it happened because of all of those reasons, man. And you just really sit down. That's the biggest advice. Sit down and evaluate yourself first before you try to evaluate a mate.
That's true.
Learn who you are,
That's
man.
true.
Like, take that and run with it. Like, if you know you're this type of person, make sure that your mate, your
mate
potential
will
mate,
appreciate that.
appreciate it and knows it.
And knows
Don't
it.
hide it.
Do
Who you
not
are is
hide.
who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. I don't think I ever hid the fact to him that I was a nerd.
Never.
I never, and I've never hid this for anybody. I didn't hide the fact that, I don't know, I didn't hide too much from him.
I'm sorry, but like a pretty sexy nerd is every man's dream, and I got one. I got one in the house.
All right, let's move on to the next.
Up next.
That was the Newlywed segment. We appreciate you guys' questions. We do.
Right? Keep us on our
keep
toes.
us-
I
keep us
love
on
answering
toes.
these questions.
Yeah, same
man.
here, because people. You get a
And
little.
you
insight.
you might like some of these questions. I'm sure some of them are probably just somebody might want to be nosy.
Yeah.
Fine, that's cool.
That's
But
cool.
more often than not, I think these questions can really help people. Like, I
think
asked
so,
a lot of
too.
questions to a lot of people before I got married.
Same.
So if these questions help you, man,
Yeah.
I hope they do. I really hope they do, and I hope they reach somebody that could use them.
And I also want to say this: even though we're answering these questions, this is our experience.
True.
It's
true.
just our experience. Everybody's marriage isn't the same, and when you get that mindset that you're going to get married, or if you accept a proposal, if you're about to be proposed to, know that everybody's experience in marriage is not going to be yours.
True.
And so you have to go into marriage with an open mind and an open heart.
Don't be expecting no
And
fairy tales.
Don't expect no fairy tales. I think the last time when I talked about it, when I was just talking about my adjustment, somebody kind of got upset at me because I said it's not a fairy tale. But it's not.
No, it's not.
Like, this is not a fairy tale. We love each other, but we have our whole lives. There's ugly parts in marriage. There's beautiful parts in marriage. It is not a fairy tale. We have not ridden down, a horse into the sunset and, just everything's great. Life is tough. Marriage can be tough. But if you are on the same team together, it's amazing. If I had to compare it to anything, it's a suspenseful action thriller. With a little bit of comedy, like a lot of bit of comedy.
Team Us coming to you
Team
this
Us.
October.
October, explosions and stuff, car chase. It's that's what marriage. It's not a fairy tale. All right, let's go into our last segment. # lessons learned.
Lessons learned. There it is.
And this one has to do with marriage. And my Nana told me this.
Hey, Nana.
When I was young. Hey, Nana. My Nana told me this when I was young. She was like, don't think you could change a man. A man will only change. And we touched on this. A man will only change if he wants to.
True.
There's nothing you could do to get that
True.
man to change.
And I'll make that 2019 relevant. People.
Yeah.
are only going to
People
change
are
when
only
they
gonna
want to
change when they
change.
wanna
You know,
change.
great advice from Nana. We love you. I got some spaghetti waiting on you when you come here. I promise.
I made some last night.
And it was
good.
delicious. I tasted it. She
It
don't
was
know, but
good.
it was good.
Yay.
But that's 100% true, folks. Don't try to change nobody. You know, I said that earlier. People are who they are. Your character is your character. You are not going to change that. You can fake it.
Yeah, for a
right?
little bit.
You can
and
fake
then
it. You can
that
fake it for a little
representative
bit.
got to go away.
But it's got to go away.
That
The
representative
real
gotta go
you,
away.
the real them, it will come out.
Yes,
and if
it
you've been
will.
trying to hide it for a long time, it's going to come out in the worst way.
The worst kind of way. Because you're hiding it.
Mhm.
And then the person that you're with is going to be like, this you the whole time?
Right,
Like, the hell?
right. No.
Hell I got into. You know, don't do that.
Don't
Like,
try to change. Don't try to hide
don't
it.
try
You
to
are
change.
who you
are
are.
who you are. That's it. That's it. So, yeah, let's wrap it up with some closing remarks. And then we're going to end this thing.
All right. Closing remarks from me. Support Turkey Leg Hut, man. If you haven't been there, if you're in Houston, go support that business. You know, I'll say that 1,000 times over again as a budding entrepreneur, as somebody who's trying to get into the catering and restaurant business. I look up to what they've done as a great business model. You know, you have to admire that, you know, from a small, you know, family-owned restaurant to, you know, they've really become a destination spot, man. And I want that same type of success. So I support them because I want to be where they're at one day.
Well, that's
my closing remark.
All right, so I got a couple of closing remarks. One, support my baby. Follow his things, All or Nunn Catering. That is on Instagram and Facebook, and the webpage will be up soon, probably by next week, honestly. So go in, look at his food, y'all. He can cook. I promise you, I've gained. No matter how much I work out, no matter how much I've been doing, I have still gained since being with this man.
Still cute.
But I'm cute though.
Stop
That's
it.
right. That's right.
She thick,
All right.
though.
So make sure you follow my husband. For me, make sure you follow my things. So you could go to the link tree. It is in the bio in my Instagram page and an about portion of my Facebook page. It is a link tree page where you can find all of the things. But one thing I'm doing this month, well, into next month, is a YouTube giveaway. So we're trying to get up to 250 subscribers on YouTube.
Follow, support.
So follow, support. It says to November 23rd, but I'm going to change that. It's going to go into next week. So what I need you to do is go to the Instagram page. You need to like the post on Instagram. I'm going to repost it again so you can see it. And then go to the YouTube channel. The link is going to be in the bio. For Facebook, it's going to be at the top of the show notes. And it's going to be in the show notes everywhere. So click the YouTube link, subscribe, and then go back to the Instagram page and tag 3 people that, could benefit from the
easy. That's easy,
folks. And it's free. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the top 3 people from the month. Just put all the names in a drawing who have subscribed, and you get a free T-shirt from the merch page. So there's some good shirts. That link is in the on the link tree as well. Some cute stuff. And right now, yeah. And if you don't think you can win the drawing, you never know. But now we got a sale going on the merch page. So free shipping, and it's 25% off of all the merchandise.
Just in time for the holidays.
Just
Get
in
your
time
shirts.
for the holidays. This is not a shirt from my bad. It's not a shirt from my website. But if you see me wear the Black Nerdy and Queenin shirt, that's on my page. I got a new shirt. I'm going to do an auntie series for all of us that are aunties. The one that's on there now is This Auntie Catches Flights. And you know what the rest is, not feeling. So
There you go.
So yeah, so go ahead and go to the merch page, like my things, support my things. I'll definitely support you because that's what I do. So if you have a blog or if you want to be on the show, contact me at theconfessions from the red couch at gmail.com, or you can hit me up on inbox me on Facebook or on Instagram. Starting to dabble in Twitter a little bit, not too sure, but go ahead and do that stuff, and we could get you on the show. You could tell your story, what you have. We love topics. Give us a topic, I'll give you a show. Promise you I will. Makes
like,
it easy.
follow, subscribe, share,
comment, get people to like my things.
and we'll like you back.
Yes, and I'll like you back. Leave reviews, all that good stuff. So All right, guys, that's the show. We want to thank you for tuning in. For the people who watched the first 15 minutes on Facebook, thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, share, like my things, and have a great holiday weekend. We'll holla at you. Bye, kids. Peace.